Internet addiction is a unique addiction due to the society which we live in today. Technological advancements have created internet usage to be a requirement for society, from educational to work purposes. Therefore, it could be argued that victims of this addiction cannot cut their addiction out of their lives, unlike other addictions such as drugs or alcohol. How can you tell if you're addicted to the internet? An addiction cannot be measured simply by the amount the user consumes, but rather by how the user values and needs their supposed addiction. Scholars have created tests in order to identify if someone is addicted to the internet. However, with a forever adaptation online, it could be argued that diagnostic tests need to be constantly adapted to how audiences interact with the internet. Chang's research into internet addiction found that adolescents with this addiction are said to likely have various psychiatric disorders, which include depression, anxiety, ADHD, hostility and social anxiety disorder. With the internet continuously growing, it is essential to understand how this addiction can be prevented. Statistics by the Office for National Statistics illustrated that in Great Britain, 22 million households, equal to 84%, had internet access in 2014, up from 57% in 2006. This therefore illustrates the necessity for a greater understanding of internet addiction.
A key researcher for internet addiction is Kimberly Young. Young defined internet addiction as an impulse control disorder which does not involve an intoxicant. Young's research resulted in an 8-item questionnaire referred to as diagnostic questionnaire, which modified criteria for pathological gambling to provide a screening instrument for addictive internet use. Her study consisted of 605 surveys which were sent within a 3-month period. The results found 396 were dependent on the internet. It proposed that if participants answered 5 or more answers with yes, that they were classified as addicted to the internet. However, Griffiths had argued that the cut-off point for genuine addiction was perhaps too low. It could be argued that numerous factors have not been taken into account for the diagnostic test, which includes the rise of social media. It should be noted that the research took place in 1996, however the first use of social media came in the form of the websites GeoCities back in 1994. It could therefore be argued that Young's research did not take into account the full usage of social media. This can debatably be seen with the question, have you jeopardised or risked the loss of significant relationship, job, educational or career opportunity because of the internet? It could be argued that someone with an addiction may spend more time on the internet socialising. Another issue can be seen in question 5. Do you stay online longer than originally intended? It could be argued that users may respond to work emails throughout the weekend even if they are trying to avoid internet usage. Arguably, this relates to outside factors rather than illustrating that someone has an addiction.
A more recent piece of research in this field was conducted by Chang in 2014. Unlike Young, Chang focused on internet addiction within Taiwan. His study was a questionnaire sent to 2,315 students from 26 different high schools in the 10th grade. His research found that 605 students had internet addiction within the 10th grade, which continued throughout the 11th grade. Research by Wu and Cheng in 2007 suggests that a factor which has encouraged this addiction is the creation of internet cafes. Arguably, this justifies the long exposure to the internet. In conclusion, it can be suggested that more research is required in order to create a greater understanding of internet addiction. Jorgensen has suggested that questions such as what are the addicts using the internet for and what activities is the internet replacing need to be answered. However, it could be argued that internet addiction will have a greater presence in the future as creators of these technologies will find more innovative ways in order to draw audiences' attention to their products.